We are back here with the hopeless housewife. I feel horrible saying that every single time, but that's the name of it.
Self-proclaimed.
Yes, self-proclaimed Erika Monroe-Williams, and her husband, who is a big league all-star baseball player, now coach in the leagues, Matt Williams, is here.
Yes.
Welcome, you guys, so much. Thank you. So I jokingly say this, but a hopeless housewife. Where does this come from?
Where does this come from? Because you
got it all together, if you ask me.
Well, thank you, thank you. No, really, you know, there's been so many times. I grew up cooking, and I've spent so much time in the kitchen, and there would be nights, you know, moving on to have a career and then becoming a mom and working all day and coming home. I would stand in the kitchen at like 5, 6, 7 o'clock going, I don't even think I know how to cook anymore. What am I going to make? I would try to make something in a rush and hurry. Things would burn. And I would say, this is coming from someone who actually has a lot of experience in the kitchen. Right. I can't imagine what people feel like who don't have a lot of experience. And I really feel like cooking is such a great way to bring family together. So I wanted to make it fun. And I started doing cooking segments in the morning, and I wanted a website for people to go and see my recipes. So that's why I thought of a good name. I thought, you know, why don't I call it The Hopeless Housewife? Because I felt so hopeless on so many occasions that, and it's also self-deprecating. I wanted to be able to poke fun of myself, and, you know, yeah, sometimes I whip up something pretty spectacular, but you should have seen what went into this. I mean, it's sometimes pretty.
Well, let me turn to your other half here, who probably has a fair assessment of. Are there hopeless moments in the kitchen? Have you witnessed, what's the most hopeless thing that's happened to her in the kitchen?
Well, again, she's pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
Yes, we agree.
He's obligated to say that. Now your obligation's out the window. Okay, go ahead, honey. Yeah. Lay it on me.
All right, so that being said, she does great dinner parties. She's asked all the time to do Thanksgiving parties.
Okay.
So we, on occasion, do that. One year in particular, she cooked this beautiful turkey. She forgot to take the bag of giblets and the neck and all of that out.
Have you done that? You've done that.
Done that? Been there, done that? I'm sure.
Sure.
She noticed it. Nobody else noticed it because the bird was so good.
Honey, that thing was gross.
But it had this.
That was not a good bird.
It had this smell. It was a different smell.
Yeah, it is.
Sure it did.
But at the end of the night, all the turkey was gone. Everybody enjoyed it. But that was her most hopeless. She just left it in there.
That's obligation to eat that thing, right?
The plastic permeated throughout the meat, you know, because it just based in that juice.
I ate it. It was good.
It was so gross.
He loved it. Probably nobody even noticed it.
Again, he's obligated.
Yeah.
Now, you've been a career woman all of your life. You've been a publicist and a morning anchor. How did you go from that to becoming a hopeless housewife? How did you make that transition?
Well, you know, anchoring the news, I was a news anchor in Phoenix, and I'm from Los Angeles. So, you know, I have been in big cities and kind of been a career woman my whole life. And then I would bring food into the station all the time. And they kept saying, you should cook, do some of the cooking segments in the mornings. And when I would be in the mornings in our daytime show, I would kind of fill in with the chefs, and I'd always jump in there and get in there cooking, and it was always my dream and my passion to do it. They finally asked me to start doing my own cooking segments without any other chefs around, and so they took the training wheels off, and I really loved it, and I just haven't looked back. I really started having a blast doing it. My theme really is how to make spectacular meals that are simple. You don't have to feel hopeless. A lot of people would come up to me and say, I burn toast, I can't boil water. This was really for them, but also for people who are looking for a fun twist on classic dishes, because I really try to make things that are like a classic dish with a fun twist. You know, so I'm always trying to throw like a fried green tomato on something, or make something interesting, just change it up a little bit.
So how did you go from that transition into actually doing an audition for The Taste, which is a brand new series, and it's taking off, everybody's talking about it, and the audition process must have been something for you too, because a lot of people want to do that.
Well, it was daunting, you know, just to hear. My husband's a huge fan of Anthony Bourdain, and I'm a huge fan of Nigella Lawson. I have all of her cookbooks. She's the Martha Stewart of the UK. She's a domestic goddess to the max. So I had heard that they were doing this show, and it kind of went around the whole foodie community. And I just thought, boy, what a dream if I could, compete on that show and actually be mentored by one of these incredible chefs. And Nigella's a home cook. She's not a chef, and she prides herself on that, which is what I am. So I heard about it and I was able to get an audition, and I went in there and cooked my heart out, and it was a daunting audition process. And then they brought a certain number of people. It's the going to Hollywood phase.
Right.
And then they brought, 60 people to Hollywood to cook.
Weren't you nervous?
Terrified.
Okay.
Terrified. And it was one of those moments where I just thought, I know this is one of my hopeless moments. I saw all the chefs around me and all the talent around me and people who have been cooking their whole lives. And I mean, there were some Charlie Sheen's personal chef is on there, and she also cooks for the royal family of Saudi Arabia. And here I am with my little, home cooked meal. And
well, we want to share with our audience
I want to see this
portion of this show. It's called The Taste, of which you're on. Take a look at this.
I feel like I'm on vacation, but I'm going to say no because it's missing salt for me.
Okay.
Sorry.
A perfectly good dish. A little earlier in the day, I would have jumped at the opportunity here. You will not be on my team, but you should be very proud of what you did here today.
Thank you.
I love watermelon. I just am holding out for that one person for my team.
Okay.
So
I do find it slightly difficult, the mixing of sweet and savory. Now I'm looking to find the final member of my kitchen. It's amazing because I look at you and I think you're going to fit, and luckily.
oh my God, it's going to be a fun kitchen. Congratulations.
We're all girls. We're going to have a gas.
Girl power. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You filled your team. You got a team now.
That was good.
To listen to these talented chefs talk about my food, it was a surreal experience.
Okay, I know that's so. Let me ask you though, when you were rejected, oh, you're crying. Oh my goodness.
Seeing my daughter
I know,
come in there,
I know.
oh my God, it was such an amazing moment. That was so amazing.
What was it like though to have the other chefs tell you no? What were you feeling? What does that feel like?
Well, I gotta tell you, they could only pick 4 people out of all of those people for their team. So they were each looking for something so specific, and I knew the odds were against me. And anytime anybody's told me no in my life, it's only made me want to do it more. And I've never ever let rejection get me down. I always pick myself up by my bootstraps and I move on. So every time I'd hear kind of no, I was thinking, okay, but there's someone else, there's more, there's another person to pick me. And I was hoping that, by the time we got down, that someone would pick me. And I'd heard, you didn't see that in the clip, but you can hear them talking about your food while they're eating it, and they all liked it. And the fact that Anthony Bourdain liked it. He had already had a lot of tuna that day, and there was a reason that he didn't pick me for his team, but he still liked it. And if that would have just ended at that moment and I would have gone home, I still would have been happy, just because I made something that Anthony Bourdain actually liked.
Yeah, but you got on the team of the person that you wanted to be on, so that was great.
I did, and Nigella is just so incredible. I mean, my God, did you see her? She's just,
I know.
she's
I can't
a goddess.
wait to see what happens. Okay, so when we come back, we're going to put Mark and Matt to the you're going to test your taste buds, because we're going to reveal 2 delicious dishes, one that you made, one that I make, and you have to figure out whose is who, and we're going to figure out which one, the ingredients. Right, when we come back.
Wow.
Delicious.
I had tuna for lunch.
Yeah.
From the Hallmark Hall of Fame.